Welcome back to another episode of the DPCast. I am Paul, and sadly today Dan isn't with us for the first part of our podcast, but I got somebody who was second as best to come onto our show. You know him quite well. He's been on a multiple load of our podcasts, and that is my good mate Shaun.
Hello, how are we?
Yes, so with Shaun being on this show today now, it's actually quite interesting, to be honest, because we've got him introducing our new segment. Well, I say new. He's jazzing up one of our segments, and that's the Hypothetical Corner. And Shaun, you've been giving us a load of hypotheticals in the last couple of weeks, you know, and you've always jazzed up the latest podcasts with your weird roots going into the hypotheticals. So we thought, let's get Shaun to do his own segment on our show, and by hell, I think the hypothetical question is the best thing for him to be on. So he's going to be on with us each and every week.
Yes,
and
I am.
Before we go any further, I say we find out what Shaun's been doing, and that's in
What's New With You?
So, Shaun, what's new with you, buddy?
To be honest, I've had quite a boring week. We've been learning how to do engineering drawings. I'll try and make this sound as interesting as possible. Essentially, we need to be able to draw components. So if, say, somebody on the shop floor in, I don't know, someone in America needed to know how to build a part.
Okay.
And I was the only person in the world who knew how to make it. Instead of me trying to describe how to build this part over the phone, which could go lopsided and completely tits up,
yes.
I've got to know how to be able to put this thing that I know how to make down on paper, showing dimension, showing scale, showing material, in the British Standard format.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's.
So you talking? Are you talking like big circuitry? Are you talking like sort of like? You talking just something small? I know you most probably can't go into much detail, but like, are you talking like sort of like a small circuit board that might do this, this, and this, or are you talking like something that is like a complete big structure that you'd have to go into here and go there, here and there?
No, it's not so much circuitry. It's more of mechanical, so valves and little pieces of equipment. So basically replacement parts. I wouldn't do a big scale drawing. That goes into way too much detail, and that gets designed and written up on the computer and blah, 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 blah. This is for more like stuff that you need to manufacture on a lathe or a milling machine or something, etc.
All right, okay,
Yeah.
I get you. Like pretty much like how we watch certain stuff on. Me and Shaun are big fans of like weaponry, like of stuff getting built, like weaponry. We used to watch a show called Forged, didn't it? Oh, that program is incredible, and like how they used to build it. Like when you just said like he was in the lathe and he was in like all that kind of stuff. Like the first thing that came straight in my head was that TV program of how they built it and how they did, like how they were going through the process of taking a car spring and making it into this fucking dagger or a really like a massive pocket knife.
Yeah, that's
so like
it's just pornography.
Oh, it really is. It's a weird. It's weird how somebody could literally look at a car and we look at it like that takes you from A to B, but then a guy with that skill could go, I look at that about 50 knives and I can build this, and this. I mean, it is absolutely mind-blowing to me of how they look at a piece of metal and I can already see where it's going to develop to. And, like, the pieces they bring out, I mean, they're absolutely goddamn sexy.
I was just about to say, the craft level and the workmanship that they put into these pieces, they look absolutely fucking gorgeous. And bear in mind, they've got a time limit on this, so they'll have like 3 to 4 hours to forge a basic shape and heat treat and then they'll have a further 3 hours to then put a handle on it, finish it, work out any kinks that have been found, like stress lines or fractures or chips or stuff like that. And the stuff that they bring out, so, don't get me wrong, some of them look absolute dog shit, but bloody hell, some of them look fucking masterful.
Oh, totally, yeah. It's a weird... what can I say, right? It's like, when you see it at first, you're like, how the fuck is he going to get it to what he's stating it's going to look like? And then you start seeing him bend and shape and construct this weapon, and you're like, okay, well, where are you going to take it from here? And then he takes it into the next stage. And the amount of process that could occur in this build, and then for it to fuck up the last couple of seconds, is unholy of how high that margin is. Like, soon as they dunk it and... what's the proper word for it, Shaun?
It's where they heat treat it, effectively, where they take it out of... Exactly take it out of the furnace at this... when it's hot, and then dunk it in oil, and that treats the metal to harden it. Yeah. And that's what gives it its rigid... So it's not going to break. But, yeah, you were just about to say...
Yeah, and it literally breaks... It could break whilst it's in it. Like, it's meant to harden it so it doesn't break, yet with a single fracture in the metal that you might not even know about at that point. As soon as you heat treat it, gone. Wedi blino, wedi mynd. Friggin', you've got to start fresh. And you're like... Can you imagine, like, if you're in your home forge or home, Shaun, right, and you were a craftsmanship, you had this craft like these people do, and you're like, fuck, I've just spent 2 days doing this, and I've got to this stage, and then you've got to start all over again.
Now,
oh my God, like,
you can
that was
see,
mental to me.
I can't remember which episode it's in, but this lad, well, he's not a lad, he's a seasoned, like, blade maker, and he heat treats it, all looks like it's going fine, and he decides to just test it by tapping it against his anvil, and tap, 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 ping.
I remember this one.
And how much is it, Paul? It's about 3/4 of an inch.
Oh yeah, I remember it so.
That sound, the sound, just a ping. Then 2 to 3 seconds, and then he realises what's happened, and you just see his heart hit the floor. It must have felt devastating.
Didn't, if I'm not mistaken as well, didn't the top of the tip totally obliterate? And when he looked at it, he realised, holy shit, I didn't even leave no wiggle room, because there's got to be certain dimensions that they got to be in between. And he realised with the tip being off it, he could still make it into a blade, but... because of it's now it's now broken, it's now a weakness point. On top of that as well, he was now lower. He was beyond the size fractions that they needed to be between. And I've never felt so sickening. Wasn't it like the last part of the show as well? Like, he was like coming to the point where you're like, it was like the last hour of the show, of that segment, and you're like, oh my God, this guy. Oh, you can feel so bad for him.
Yeah. No, it was the first bit. It was the first bit, because that is, he just heat treated it. I'm sure he just heat treated it, because it comes. This show comes in like 3 rounds effectively. You've got the first round where they'll say, right, introduce these 4 weaponsmiths or blacksmiths or whatever, and they'll introduce them and say, hi, I'm whoever, I've been a bladesmith for 30 years, and then they'll give you the scenario. So, bladesmiths, you have 3 hours to craft a blade out of a ball bearing or a car spring, or they literally take, they'll have a tarpaulin over a car. When they rip it back, they'll say, there's a car, make a knife out of something on that car. And it's just like that. And then they'll go into the finer detail where they'll say the blade has to be this long, the tang has to be this long, etc., etc., etc.
Sorry, carry on.
So that's the first 3 hours. Then after that 3 hours, you'll have another couple of hours to then finish it off, smooth it up, make it look pretty, put a handle on it, make it usable. And then after that, the following 3 blades then go into like a challenge round.
Yeah,
so they'll have an ice chop or a coconut chop, or they'll have to cut through rope that's suspended by like cable ties, so vertical, or they'll get a full pig and they'll like just try and slice holy hell out of it. It's awesome to watch. But then
it is.
A loser is decided out of the 3. Once the second person is eliminated, then they flip the challenge on its head, and they say, right, you've been here and you forged a blade of your design in our forge. Now we're going to give you, what is it?
You get it. I think it's 3 or 5 days.
5 days.
It's something near that nutshell. Yeah, because if I can remember correctly, they show it first, because they tell you can go home, and they right in front of the 2 guys who are now the finalists of that show. They then go, you've now got to present to us in 5 days in your own forges this weapon, and they reveal it, and you're like looking at it going, like Shaun, was it been sabers to katanas to it wasn't one of them like what was that medieval kind of like ball and a chain kind of style?
A flail.
A flail, yeah. I'm sure one of them's been that at one
stage
too.
Yeah, but Paul, there's been loads. You've had like weaponized shields where you've had like, I forget what they're called, but like fighting discs, which has just been the only way I can describe it is, you know, Oddball's cap off James Bond.
Yes.
Just like a steel ring with a sharpened edge, so when you throw it, it just without the hat thing. They've had
they had Excalibur.
They've had Excalibur. They've had the like the bastard sword. They've had fucking loads. And then after all this, after they've forged these, they then come back, and then it's put through like testing to see who built the best weapon. Now, like you said, Paul, the katana was the first ever episode of Forged in Fire that I can remember.
Yeah.
And the first test was, right, we're going to see how well you've built this blade. Yeah. We're going to shoot it with a gun.
Yeah, they do that with a lot of the weapons, and I love this, because if you've heat-treated that sword right, that sword should cut any bullet.
Yeah, but...
And...
it's, once again, the looks on their faces, they just go, I'm sorry, what are you doing? Yep, well, legendary swords are fabled to be able to be sharp enough to slice a bullet in half. So let's see if yours can do it. Yeah. And they're just like, what?
Yeah, in it. I love that part in it. I love it.
And yet some of them, they perform fantastically. And I've got one in my mind. I'm not going to spoil it, just in case anybody wants to go and watch this. But one of them, not one, 2 of them have an almost one has a critical failure in it, where it just breaks in 3.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember that episode.
I'll tell you later, Paul. And you'll soon remember it. And the second one goes to strike this whole pig, and it bends. It literally wraps. You know exactly which one I'm on about now.
Oh, yes, I do. Literally, he comes in, and you're like, he is cocky as a fucking son of a bitch running into it. And lo and behold, oh my god, yes, he swings into it, and he's like, yeah, go on, you do it. And as he does it, he swings round, and you just watch the blade just fucking wrap round it, and you're like, I don't think the blade's meant to do that. I don't think that blade's meant to do that. And then he comes back, and he's like, it will cut. But then all you can see was like sort of bruise marks where the cut is, and then you're looking at it going, I don't think it was meant to bend.
No, the only blades that
Didn't they slow motion, didn't it? Didn't they slow motion it? And they went round, you could actually see the bending of the sword going right around the pig and then do fuck all about it.
Yeah, it literally just wrapped its way round this, like, pig that was suspended from the ceiling, as if, I don't know, a giant had just come round and just taken hold of this pig. And it just stayed like that. Oh,
that was clean up. I remember that episode now. Now you just mentioned that exact sword. I remember it exactly to that. Oh, that was mental.
yes. Anyway, shall we move this along by me asking Paul, what's new with you?
Well, get this in. My movie's still into the thing, because I haven't had much of a productive week. It's been quite a weird one. We've done a couple of stuff in between it. Like mostly Twitter-wise, etc., etc. But to be honest, what I started doing last night, Shaun,
Yes.
I started watching a new program on Netflix. Now, I've seen it there for a few days now. Actually, sorry, I'll backtrack a little bit here. Since we're still on the movie slash program wise, I started watching a few days ago. I've loved this program. I've told Shaun to watch it as well. It's called The Ranch. Right? It's on Netflix. It's pretty much on American and the UK version. And I've watched the first season. I thought I'll watch it. It's got Aston Kutcher in it, and it's got a couple of other good actors in it too. But you know, you're pretty much there for Aston Kutcher. You know, he's a good laugh in it, and it's so good. Obviously, the title says what the program is. It's a very country western comedic series on Netflix. And if you've watched it, you understand what I'm talking about. If you've never watched it, I advise you to go and have a look at it. They're now on season 3. What came out in the last few days? So I was able to watch that this week, and holy crap! I've never had a show, Shaun, that literally, like in the first season or two, it was good, but it never pulled on my heartstrings so much. They always ended it on a cliff note, and you're like, motherfuckers, don't do any stenders on me. And lo and behold, then this season now they've kind of brought us from dropping me off a cliff from the season 2, and they've just pulled on my heartstrings each and every time. Now I don't know if it's because I'm a father. They've been pulling on my heartstrings with it, because it does have a very family feel to the season 3. But fucking hell, whoever directed season 3, or even if it's the same guy, whatever, he has fucking pulled a right season out of his ass on this one. It is amazing. I mean, it's each and every episode is like, my one, I want a second. This is not water coming from my eyes. This is, God damn it, Paul. so yeah, it's one of the kind of programs that you love because of the way they act, the way the comedic value is in it. They take the piss out of Aston Kutcher 24/7, even though he's not Aston Kutcher in it. He's an American footballer who used to be a pro, who basically ended up losing all that kind of shit and coming back home. And it's just a very, very good... and the way his mother comes in, and literally his mother and his father don't give a rat's ass. They got a really I don't give a fuck attitude. Plus they swear. That always is more handier in a TV program, especially Netflix, because they got the more free will, as I like to call it. And it's quite entertaining when you feel like in some TV shows you're like, all you need there is like a fuck you, because it kind of tells them people, yeah, I'm pissed, you know. And in this program, they do that. They go to that next stage where you feel like you need in like a TV show that just needs that gritty edge, and it gives it in this. And fuck, Shaun, honest to God, I fucking love this TV program at the moment. As I said, I watched the full entire season in, I think it was less than 24 hours. Absolutely loved it. But coming off that, last night I tried a brand new season that I've seen on there now for about a week plus. And it's called Glow. Now, I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix, Shaun, because thanks to Shaun, who was a good mate of mine, he was able to lend me Netflix back in the day, and I get to watch a load of these shows because of him, even Amazon Prime. So it's nice to have a good mate like Shaun to watch these shows in work. And yeah, the one I'd advise him to check out as well, Shaun, is Glow.
Okay.
Checked it out last night. what it was, I looked at it and I went, that doesn't look like my cup of tea, and I didn't read what it was about. I just seen the title and I thought, most probably a bit of a chick flick. I'll do it I'll make my rounds on it, Next thing, I was looking through on Facebook, scrolling through, and I could see people talking about Glow, or, there was like a review about it, and they were talking about it was about pro wrestling. And I was like, okay, that's the last thing I expected Glow to be a part of, Because I just, as I said, I expected it to be a chick flick. Motherfucker, I literally started watching it last night. I want to watch. I can't wait to record the rest of the season so I can watch it in work. I mean,
that good?
Dude says it's only about 30-ish minutes long per episode, but it's about a woman that it's back in the 1980s in LA, so you can imagine the times very much man-orientated. Women weren't getting their rights like in film opportunities and script writing and all that kind of stuff. So you can imagine on the very DLO,
Yeah.
So you can see this woman. She's an actor. She's aspiring to be, but she's reading. You see her in the very beginning reading the script, and then as you do it, it goes back to the cameraman, and she's like, "That's the man's role," and she's like, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "Can you read the woman's role for me?" And it's about two, not even 2 sentences long. It's about 3 or 4 words long, And she's like, "You can go now." And you start realizing where the progress of this is going to go. You can already see like a very man-dominated 1980s in LA. And as it's going through, you really see a hardship of what she's going through. And out of nowhere, she gets this job opportunity to become a wrestler. And it was this guy who has got a dodgy background to him. He's got all these girls applying for it, and he's cutting them one by one. And this girl is just an actor through and through. She's an actor, so she's acting up to this stupid stuff because she's not a pro wrestler. She's expecting to be, like, oh, la-di-da kind of style.
Yeah.
And all the other girls, some of the girls are coming in, they're fucking beasts. I mean, like, you can see them, they're going to be like somewhat of the next wrestler or trying to become something. And I won't give any more away, but it's really worth a watch because you start to see a progress of, like, her character building, and you start to see in what occurs. Plus, I should have really started with this. You see a lot of tits, a lot of sex, and a lot of vag. Friggin', I should maybe start with that because as I was telling Dan last night about it, he just went, "Paul, don't start it with pro wrestling and women." He goes, "You had me on that, but when you should have just said boobs and sex," he goes, "you would have had me 5 times quicker." He goes, I totally advise to have a propaganda. It is a very good. It started off good, anyways, and I'm only on episode 2 at the moment, so I'm going to watch episode 3 to probably the full entire season by the end of tonight now. So I totally advise giving it a propaganda because I'm bloody intrigued with it, and they've actually got old school wrestlers. Well, I say old school wrestlers. John Morrison. Now, a lot of you might not know the name if you don't watch WWE. If you do, you understand who he is. If you don't, anybody watches Bat in the Sun, you see him a couple of times on that too. Shaun, in your case, you might have watched Bat in the Sun. He has played... what's his name? No, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Casey Jones.
Yes.
He's played he played him in that, and he's played a couple of other characters in Bat in the Sun who are his YouTube videos that they have, like certain Marvel characters and DC characters and all these kind of people coming together to verse each other. I think one of the latest ones was Wolverine versus Wonder Woman. That was fucking epic. So it's he's known for a lot of stuff, plus Japanese wrestling as well that he's been involved with. So he's in the first episode, and there's a couple of other really good actors in it. So I totally advise, guys, if you're a wrestling fan, or at least even a smidge of a wrestling fan, and secondly, if you just like boobs and sex, it's pretty much a wrestling version of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So, do you know what? I think we've gone on this segment for quite long now. I say we get into Shaun's new part.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
And that's the Hypothetical Corner. So I say I hit that goddamn jingle, shall I?
You are entering the Hypothetical Corner.
So Shaun, over to you.
So, welcome to my new section of the podcast.
Yep.
I was so excited when Paul told me that, well, Paul and Dan told me I was going to have my own segment. And I'm really disappointed that Dan can't be with us for the first part of the podcast. Because I've been racking my brain trying to get up some belters of some hypothetical questions. But I'm going to use the one in one of my reserved ones, just simply because Dan isn't really a gamer. So, Paul, are you ready?
I'm game face on, pal, John. I'm ready to go.
Okay, then.
Hit me with it.
You wake up as the last... you wake up as the main character of the last video game / movie that you played or watched. Who are you?
Ooh.
And how fucked are you?
Oh. Now, anybody to... let's put a bit of thing onto this here now. Me and Shaun game share, we play a lot of Xbox together.
Yes.
Now, I'd be completely, utterly fucked. Because we don't play any willy-nilly kind of dancing round games. I mean, they are straight up, you're fucked scenarios. You're fucked in the game. Can you imagine being in the game? I mean, it's because we play a lot of Ark. Me and Shaun are huge fans of that game.
Yes.
And goddamn, thank God we haven't played that much this week. But another game that we've only started playing is called Crossout, and I think it'll be ultra more fucked because it's a game that you construct a car to be in a Mad Max scenario.
Yeah. So that's the last game you played?
I think it is.
Oh,
I'm going through some of the games that I fear some of the games I'm rolling through my head now. I wish to say, oh yeah, Shaun, we played, Minecraft yesterday. What I think is the only la-di-da kind of game that we could have played, and I would have gone, I'm in a beautiful world, just a blocky world. Oh my God, Shaun, seriously, I'm trying to rack my brain, and literally the games we played in the last 24 hours have been GTA 5.
Yeah, we played a bit of that yesterday.
And a bit of Ark.
Played a bit of Crossout, which is effectively Call of Duty with cars.
Yeah.
Luckily, like you said, we haven't played Ark. For those of you who don't know what Ark is, it's a sandbox game where you go around an island that's infested with dinosaurs that are, for lack of a better term, hungry. All right then.
Oh God, yes.
How about this? What was the last film you watched?
Oh, now that is a better question, because I haven't watched a film in actually, it's depending on what you count as film.
Go on, I'll give it a ruling.
Because, okay, right. Are you counting film? Would you count a Scooby-Doo movie as a film? Now, I mean this in the industry, not the real version. I'm on about the cartoon version of the movies, like the ones with the WWE, because I was watching that only a few days ago.
Oh. You know what, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hit and miss on it. I don't know if I would classify it as a movie, even though it most probably somewhat is.
I would class it as a movie. So...
I would class it as a movie, but I don't think...
I
don't know. It's one of the things, like if you had to go, right, pick a real world movie.
Yeah, what was the last real world movie that you watched? And if it's shit, then you stuck with Scooby-Doo, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm trying to think in my head what I watched in cinema not long back. Oh, I'm trying to think what I went to go and watch. Shit the bed. I went to the cinema only a couple of weeks ago. And I'm now wrecking my brain what the hell I watched. Oh, I know what I watched. Baywatch. Now, for the hypothetical question, oh sweet Jesus, I think I'm in the best area to be watching a movie in.
Yeah, you suddenly...
I'm in Baywatch, I get to watch tits and friggin', I get her watching my fat belly out, like going, oh, look at that lovely lass coming there over now with the boobs everywhere. Oh, look at her. That's pretty much been my lifestyle.
Yeah, I think you hit a winner on that one, Paul. Fuck, I wish I'd changed the question. No, you can't have that one. You have to have Scooby-Doo.
How about yourself?
My ruling. Right, well, the last game that I played, I played Hitman.
Yes, you did too. Yeah, you were playing that today. Whilst I was playing a different game.
Yes. So I am now a ruthless assassin, trained to kill at a moment's notice with a stamp.
That is really interesting. This is really interesting because one of Will's movies that he'll be bringing to you in the next part will be a movie that's very close to that, Shaun.
Ooh.
Now, for the people who are quite intrigued about that, maybe you have to listen to the second part of the podcast that is going to be coming straight after the Hypothetical, and we go into depth about that movie. I'm only stating who's in it, and that's Eisenberg, Jesse Eisenberg.
You know what? I haven't got a clue which film you're talking about. I guess I'll have to listen in as well.
Yeah, genuine. Have a listen in. I just remember us doing that part, and I remember us talking. So it's quite intriguing that you mentioned Hitman, Shaun, because that's kind of what in this movie Jesse Eisenberg is. He's a closed down assassin that has been reactivated.
What, like a sleeper agent or?
Sleeper agent, yeah.
Ooh.
Now, and weirdly enough, guys, if it gives even more of a spoilers, it was actually one of the movies I actually watched.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Each and every week, on the God, Shaun, right? Well, each and every month, sorry, freaking when Will's on, he'll give these selection of movies, and Dan's there going, yeah, I watched that one, very good movie. Me there, and they've got a, yeah, great, very, very great.
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, I'll get round to watching that. Yeah, I've seen it for the trailer. This week, honest to God, I think I nearly threw a celebration. You went, this movie, and I won't mention it because it'd be more entertaining for when you actually do listen to that part, and he just goes, I went, wait a minute, are you talking about this, and this? Yes. I've watched this movie! So, yeah, I was, I had a bit of a, party poppers out, freaking celebration, nearly had a freaking cake come in. It was a full ordeal. Just don't want to put it out there.
I'm racking my brain now to see what was the last film that I watched. Bloody hell, it's been a while since I watched a bloody film. It'll probably be...
I felt exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't really watch many films. I'll have to be in a strange mood to watch... to sit down and watch a film. I'll either have to go to the cinema or think, what, I can't be asked playing on the Xbox, I can't be asked talking to anybody, I just want to sit down and watch something and just sit there and look at the screen and let my body decay a little bit.
Sadly, freaking me and Shaun don't have enough time to do that these days, because when we play Ark, we put our balls and soul into that game. And most occasions, it doesn't come round for us to watch movies of a caliber to literally go, oh yeah, watch this, like a few days ago. It doesn't seem to come round to us, does it, Shaun? Because we start playing Ark and we're on it for hours.
Yeah, it's not just that. If we're on the Xbox, we're on the Xbox. No matter what we'll play, we'll find ourselves putting 6 hours into Minecraft or something where we can turn around at the end of it and go, Paul, what have we achieved?
Wow. Yeah.
Fuck off.
We seem to do that a lot, don't we? We literally, just to go back a little bit here, and me and Shaun play fucked into Minecraft back in the day, and I remember the most famous time when me and Shaun met was only about a couple of years back now, and we both went on Minecraft. I was like, Shaun, do you play Minecraft? Yeah, I'm playing it right now. Awesome. So next thing as we're now coming on, I was like, oh yeah, Shaun, this is really good. You should really come and see my world one day. What is an impressive world. I've had it for years on the Xbox.
There, Paul. Whoa. Let's just paint the scenario a little bit better than that. I invited Paul into my world just to like show him my little fort. I'd built a little castle with 3 tiers, little bit of a basement, and I was pretty chuffed with it, you know. I'd not been playing Minecraft that long, but, you know, I thought I'd done a damn good job. And then Paul says, oh, do you want to come and see my world now? Yeah, okay, let's see what you've done. Just to compare, maybe, you know, obviously he's been playing a lot longer than me. I'll be able to take some notes, get some more ideas. And then he invited me into his world. And what I didn't realise at the time was he'd put 4... Was it, am I right in saying 4?
4 in what?
Years.
Oh, yeah.
4 years into building this map. I'm talking...
it was quite impressive.
There were skyscrapers. There were football stadiums. There was countless things that he had just gone in. And this is the impressive thing for the Minecraft buffs about you. He went in before the point where you could just start off with a level map. So he had hills, he had rivers, he had everything. He didn't have a flat land. He went round and he levelled the place, which must have took him like 2 to 3 months on its own.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I can remember correctly, to put the added star as much as you've already praised me up on that one, is that when I started Minecraft and I built the first stadium, creative wasn't even available.
Yeah.
So I had to build it all out of survival. So we went through, if I can remember correctly, if anybody's a Minecraft fan, as you stated, diamond pickaxe will go through 1,000 blocks. We went through, I think it was 157 diamond pickaxes.
Yeah.
Friggin' to go through just what we did. If I'm not mistaken, the square footage of it was 275 lengthwise blocks and 250 width. And that was out then. We went down into the ground because obviously, as Shaun just stated, it was not level. So we went down into the ground then another 75 blocks to make it that the stadium could invert onto it, so you'd have a stadium look to it. And it took me and 3 other guys, and I'm still doing parts on it to modernise it up. I've changed it from a football stadium to a wrestling stadium. I'm tempted to change it before long again. It inevitably keeps changing. Shaun was only not on long ago with me, and he was helping me change up the new look of the full entire village or city, you might call it, where we changed up the block system on it, because all I have in it is all the old cobblestone and stuff like that. Well, since creative has now become available, I've now changed it over to creative and been able to put a different touch onto it with creative blocks and stuff that you might not see. So it's
trust me, Paul.
It's something.
It's you can definitely class that as a city. It's nowhere near a town. It's not a village. It's a fucking city.
And the best part to it, the only way that me and Shaun actually became we realised how close we were going to inevitably be with that. We both watched videos called Achievement Hunter or Rooster Teeth, and as soon as he came into my world, he then clocked my massive grass maze. What I built within a couple of hours, I had it off. I had this picture that I picked off Google Images, and it was off a real world maze, and I ended up creating my own version in Minecraft, and I made it 5 times bigger in each dimension. And the crazy part about it is that as I was building it, and I started doing this and doing that and doing the other, I put in the middle of it the Tower of Pims. Now, anybody who's a Rooster Teeth fan or an Achievement Hunter fan, they would realise the Tower of Pims is what they created. Well, lo and behold, Shaun's there, and he goes, "Holy shit, that's the Tower of Pims!" And inevitably realised how much we had in common, to us being very good mates and going to be one of my best men for whenever I get wed. We realised how we're like freaking people who were separated from the womb. That's how much we we're nearly parallel to each other.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if Shaun wasn't so much smaller than me, you'd swear we might be fucking brothers just from a different time sphere.
yeah, that was one thing I was going to pick up on, Paul. We are almost identically the way we think. Stand us next to each other, we couldn't look any more different.
Like, I'm 6 foot
And
6.
I'm 4
Shaun
foot
is.
and a half. No, I'm not 4 foot and a half. You know what? I can't even actually remember. I'm 173 centimeters, and that's what it says on my military ID card.
You guys do the maths at home.
Yeah.
Well, before we go down this rabbit hole any forth, Shaun, has been a fantastic segment, boy. But I got to do the old cheeky plugs here, and that means you guys at home, if you want to get a hold of us on on Twitter or Facebook, now may I add as well, Shaun being part of our team, Shaun is a part of our Facebook. So if you want to go on Twitter and have a chat with Shaun about maybe some hypotheticals you want to place in, get a hold of him on that. I'm on social media pretty much 24/7. Shaun's on here or there. So may I add is Dan. And even Will, who is our film news representative, he's a part of our Facebook. Otherwise, if you want to get a hold of myself, I'm pretty much on our DPCast Twitter page. That is at DPCasters, capital D, capital P, capital C, ASTERS. And that is on... I'm on 24/7 on Twitter. If you go send a message or hypotheticals or what's new for you, and we'll shout out in the segments that need for it. But if you want to download this podcast for all the juicy goodness that we give you each and every week, you need to go on to iTunes, SoundCloud, and all Android podcast apps by just searching the DPCast. Otherwise, Shaun, it has been a pleasure having you on for your first segment. And I can't wait to have Dan on for the next episode now, so you can place on some of the hypotheticals you got in your mind. They're going to be mind-blowing, because he's already placed them to me and Dan, and we were fucking gobsmacked of how amazing they sounded.
Oh, yes, I am ready to throw some mind benders your way.
So, before we go any forth, from this part forth now, it's going to be me and Dan. We're talking to Will, so enjoy the rest of the podcast. Ciao for now.
You want to talk about movies? I know a guy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now landing at Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for traveling with DPCast Airways.
Right.
You were just about to say welcome to another episode of DPCast, weren't you?
Oh, I don't know. Traits just can't get rid of. Welcome back for another episode with Will's segment of the movie film newses and reviews. So, Will, we hand it over to you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for that wonderful, if not hilarious introduction. Appreciate that. So this time around, we've got 5 more movies from 5 different services and, of course, a new release to talk about. So this time around, we talked about the trailer for the new Blade Runner movie. This month, we're going to talk about the excellent trailer for Marvel's Black Panther, and you all said you saw it. So let me get your opinions on it first, and we'll start with Dan, since he seems to want to really talk about this. Dan, what did you think
Of the Black Panther trailer?
Yes.
To be honest, I like the Marvel films. I'm not a huge Marvel fan as in the comics and the backstory and stuff like that. So all the knowledge I know about Marvel is through the films, to be honest. And look, I can't really say much of my opinion at this point, but it does look really cool. And I know it's got Andy Serkis back in it. And didn't he get his arm chopped off in Iron Man 3?
Yes, but his
Yes.
playing guy that only has one arm.
Yeah. I know. But yeah, I like the look of it. It's quite cool. I enjoyed it, and I can't not much to say about it at this point. To be honest,
They've gone very very futuristic with Uganda, haven't they? Where they're going into the inter-soul of Uganda. And it's really intriguing. I get a funny feeling we're going to see a lot of how the suit was probably built, or the ingredients of how the suit, how it's so bulletproof, and the ingredients of what occurred to make it.
That was cool, yeah.
Because obviously, because the suit is such unique, a lot of people don't realise about the Black Panther suit. It has such a unique patterns on it that obviously it has certain stuff that nobody knows about it on it. So it's actually quite intriguing. I'm really intrigued with this movie. It's so much direction they can go on in it, and as I said, that futuristic look they brought in, I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
I love the way that it's.
It's like when he gets shot and the bullets bounce off him. It's like, oh, it's bulletproof. You know, that was a surprise to me. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to say some things here.
Yeah.
You may or may not like them.
Yeah.
First thing, Wakanda has a surplus of the same material that Captain America's shield is made out of. So the suit is made out of hyper weaved material.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same material as the shield. That's why.
Isn't it vibranium? Isn't it?
It's vibranium.
Yeah, vibranium. Yeah, vibranium. That's it.
Vibranium. And secondly, did you not find it a little pandering? It's like, look at all the awesome black people we have.
I didn't want to say it, but because PC and all that, but it did have a very black vibe to it.
I think it's awesome that most of the cast is black, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But pandering a bit, and I can't wait to see the movie because they got high quality caliber actors in this. I mean, I'm very excited to see Chadwick Boseman back again as the Black Panther. He looked awesome in Civil War. I can't wait to see Michael B. Jordan as one of the villains. Again, Andy Serkis as Ulysses Claw looks amazing. South African accent's on point too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's a very difficult. That's a very strange accent, isn't it? It's very difficult to nail. Yeah, it's very
good. But again, I found it a little pandering, and I was like, I sat there watching this, and I'm like, oh boy, they're gonna eat this up on Twitter, but positively. But in my head, I'm like, I don't like how pandering this is. And then there was a weird rap song. I'm like, why did it have to be a rap song?
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Okay, this is definitely look at us, we're all black. Black Panther, black, woo, and. I'm with you on that one. I'm all for having different orientations in a film and stuff like that. But when you're making it obvious, look what we're doing. Look a Chinese person. Look, women. It's a bit like in your face then.
A little overkill.
Yeah, it's like okay, well done. What do you want, a gold star? It's like.
Oh, we can all agree that we're excited for this, right?
Oh hell yeah,
definitely very excited.
I think I'm probably. I think I got the same excitement for this movie as I did for Doctor Strange. I understand the character, I understand the background of it, as much as maybe some average Marvel fans on that nutshell. But I'm quite intrigued of like the Doctor Strange franchise that they're trying to create, and now vice versa with Black Panther. I'm quite intrigued of where they take that path with this person, because obviously he's going to interlink with Infinity War. Was inevitably in 2018, 2019. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited with the path they're going to take with him. Because obviously, have you heard as well? Captain America is he's not going to be doing any more movies after 2019, really? And that's the final Avenger. Yeah, that's the final Avengers movie.
I had some problems. I won't talk about it here. I agree with you completely in that I have a very high hype level, and I'm really excited for what they're going to do with Black Panther and to see if they can continue this streak of making a lot of money on mediocre films. I'm looking at you, Ultron.
I don't want to like go off path a little bit, but I do want to teeter a little bit when you just said Doctor Strange there. I'm most probably going to agree with at least a good segment of most probably what you're thinking is that Doctor Strange maybe didn't live up to the hype that I think a lot of Marvel fans expected it to be.
Oh yeah, it was all Benedict Cumberbatch performance and no story that made sense.
Mm. Yeah, it was a little all over the shop.
Visually though, it was an absolute treat. It was give me a joint and I'll be woo. But story-wise, it was very a visual film, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good interpretation of the movie. It was very visual of
and I expected the opposite out.
Sorry, go on.
I expected the opposite out of Scott Derrickson because his whole career has been narratively strong horror films with limited budgets, and now he comes out of the gate in a big budget movie that's huge on visual but light on the narrative. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the end? And I won't go too much into it because it's still somewhat still fresh, so people would end up going to spoiler cast territory. But did you feel like the end was very minimalistic? Like it could have been a lot more.
It's on Netflix. It wasn't my Netflix pick for this month, but it is on Netflix, and I feel like the word that best describes the ending is sanitized.
And that's in a bad way. Yeah, I can see that.
Are we talking about the repetition in time where he's going over and over again, or is there something after that?
No. I don't know. I just found it. I can see what you've done. Freaking like the repetition is like, okay, there's a comedic value to it. At the same time as well, like it still didn't. I don't know. There's a lot more towards the thing that built up to that point. That you're like, come on. I mean, come on. There's got to be a bit more here. There has to be. I mean, like whoever isn't a Marvel fan, we've got to realise Doctor Strange has been brought into the Marvel universe in the Disney element, quotated marks, friggin' as like very late in, where in a comic book history, he's very early doors. I mean, he's like one of the big Avengers. And I just feel like they brought him in quite late into this universe that they're building, and his story arc has been hit and miss. I mean, I'm quite intrigued of his second movie because obviously there's going to be one, but I am quite intrigued of where they hit the second movie on, because I noticed in Marvel the first one is hit and miss, the second one seems to be okay, and the third one they seem to hit it out of the park. What is normally the reverse around.
Yeah,
that has been kind of the pattern, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
So wrapping that all up, Black Panther comes out Valentine's Day next year. You can check out Doctor Strange on Netflix. And having said that, let's get into my picks here that I have for the streaming services. We'll start with Netflix. Went with a great Seeking of the End of the World. And this one stars Steve Carell and Keira Knightley. You've seen this one, Dan, yes?
I have indeed, yes. I saw it a good few years ago. I watched the trailer before we start the podcast to refresh on it. And Steve Carell and Keira Knightley, and it was really great. It's like a light comedy, isn't it? It's
really good. The thing about this movie is it's Keira Knightley and Steve Carell play two people who, at the end of the world, meet each other. They're neighbors. They don't really talk before that, and they're in the middle of this situation where they have to kind of be with each other. Now, it's directed by a wonderful female director named Lorraine Scafaria. She did a great movie last year called The Meddler. She also did one of my favorite little indie movies, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that sensibility in Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Keira Knightley's amazing in it. The music is fantastic, and Steve Carell plays the depressed guy better than anybody, really. He did it in Dan in Real Life, and he did it in Crazy Stupid Love. Those three characters could be like the same guy.
Yeah, he was a depressed guy in what's that one where they're on a bus? Family, forgotten what it's called.
Oh yeah, Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine, that's the one. Yeah. I still haven't seen that film, actually. Speaking of which, so
you should get on that. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, well, I will get around to it. Yeah, but this film is a great little film. It's like I love the ending as well. He's kind of a straight. He's like no special effects whatsoever in this film. And the ending was.
But don't spoil it. Nope. Don't spoil it.
No, I won't say anything. But yeah. But they kind of pull it off very nicely, without any special effect.
I agree. It's so good. And then, so with that, another really good little indie film, and this is my pick for you United States Amazon Prime users. It's a great film from New Zealand. This also ties into our previous Marvel conversation. It's What We Do in the Shadows, directed by Taika Waititi, who is directing Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
What We Do in the Shadows, and I know you have some things to say, so I'm going to let you go ahead and speak on this, Dan.
Oh, I love this film. I laughed all the way through. It's just kind of like dry humor, and basically, it's a house of. It's like a mockumentary, isn't it? About vampires in a mansion, and it basically goes through what they do in the shadows in the night, and it's like, oh, this is what we do, and etc. etc.
My favorite part of it is that all five of I think it's five vampires are from different eras.
That's
there's one from like the Renaissance. There's one from the Dark Ages. There's one from the different era from like the early 19th century, late 20th century.
Yeah.
There's They're all from different places. There's even one from the 12th century.
That's right. What's the name of the guy in the basement? That's like a Nosferatu type vampire.
That's the guy I was talking about. The guy from the 12th century. I don't recall the name.
He's got a very general name, isn't he? He's like Mick or something, or Nick or something like that, isn't he? It's like,
I think I need to watch this one.
Oh, it's
Peter,
funny, man.
Peter.
Peter, that's the one. Yeah, it's like, oh, Peter. Nobody likes Peter.
That sounds quite like quite a fun movie. Is that quite resourced to Amazon Prime in the UK as well, or just America?
To be honest, I've been looking for it on Amazon. It's not on Amazon with us over here. But it's a good couple of years old now, 3 years old, something like that.
It came out in 2015, so it's 2 years old.
2 years old, yeah. So
fair one. I'll eventually come over to us. Freaking, that's what I was double checking because it sounds quite an entertaining movie.
Oh, it's fair. I think you'd enjoy it, Paul. There's another part as well with the werewolves as well, and I think there's a part where they're waiting for the full moon and all. I was like, come on, take your clothes off. Come on, what are you doing, you arsehole? You're getting all their clothes off and stuff.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
Swearwolves, yes. And it's got a good actor in it.
That's actually some kind of entertaining.
Flight of the Conchords, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you like Flight of the Conchords, you'll like this. Basically.
Yeah.
Well, do you know this feels a little bit like is that I kind of like this. Is that last week he brought up Cooties, what seemed to be quite an entertaining. Actually, say last month. He brought up Cooties, what Dan's ended up being able to watch. I need to watch it before long now, and he says it was absolutely hilarious. And this feels like another movie you put into the list. That is another quite hilarious movie. So I kind of like that you've gone on quite different ones on Netflix to Amazon. Like that's quite intriguing.
Yeah.
That's the job. That's the whole thing. I want to give you guys a lot of awesome choices. And speaking of an awesome choice, for Hulu this month, I picked a really underrated film called American Ultra.
Okay. I watched the trailer for this.
I've heard of this.
It looks hilarious. I want to see that. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer before we start the podcast. It looks really good. It's one that slipped under my radar, actually.
Yeah, I've heard of this movie. I just can't think of what is the movie about anymore. I need to double check the trailer on it.
Well, let me help you with that. Yep. The movie is about a program that the United States government ran called MK Ultra, which it's a spoof of that. It basically they have cyber or enhanced people who at the press of a button or the click of a snap of a finger turn into assassins. And one of those people is this loser guy played by Jesse Eisenberg. They snap their fingers, and now he's all of a sudden, in the middle of the...
Is this the one with the one from
Twilight?
Oh my God! Is this the one from Twilight? I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
I've seen this fucking movie. Yes, I've seen one of them.
Get the party poppers out.
This is fucking incredible. This, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually on either Netflix or Amazon Prime over here. This is one of the best movies I've watched last year for a good few months. Yeah. This is an incredible movie, especially when they've got like that raving disco paint, and she is just like. All the way through it, do you think like she's just basically head screwed on and he's just a fucking pothead? And at one point, shit just hits the fan and there's one hell of a twist. Yeah,
yes,
that's all I'm doing it.
Twist. And it's actually written by Max Landis, who wrote Project X and is the son of the director, what's his name? What is the Landis director? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very young guy. He wrote a lot of stuff. He wrote Project X. He wrote he wrote the first draft of the Power Rangers film. But essentially, this one is directed by Nima Narizadeh. That's a hard name.
Well done.
Also, Project X. You're right about that. Kristen Stewart is in it, and she's really good in it. And I think that her and Jesse Eisenberg, since they did two movies before, which was Adventureland and what was the one that they did together?
Movie, Adventureland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I gotta say, judging by the trailer, it's like I got Kristen Stewart. I got no patience for her. After Twilight, I thought anything with her in is tainted. But watching her in this, it looks like she's decent in it, kind of thing. And they work well together.
Really is. It's quite shocking how well she works in this as a character for this thing, because she plays along with the storyline that you're really invested with, to be quite honest. It really intrigues you in. And the best part too is like Jesse Eisenberg, who it's just he's obviously just a shop clerk. And as he's coming outside, and these guys obviously kick off, and he kills them with a spoon. And I just love the aspect of when he phones up his missus, who is the girl from Twilight, I keep forgetting her name. And he's like, I just killed somebody with a spoon. And she's like, sorry, what? Oh, I gotta give it a... You really gotta watch it. It's a really great movie.
Yeah.
I first one I fucking watched. Woohoo!
Hey.
This might be for a while.
So to your point, yeah, and I understand where you're coming from with Kristen Stewart. By the way, the other film that they did together was last year's Woody Allen's film, Cafe Society, which I recommend.
Oh, okay.
She did two great movies over in French film, predominantly French films with director Olivier Assayas. She did The Clouds of Sils Maria, which is actually on Netflix as well here in the United States. And Personal Shopper from this year, and my review is up on our website, filmsnobreviews.com, if you want to check that out. She's really good in both. She's actually the first American woman to win their version of the Oscar.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's quite
she's
impressive.
doing some good work. You just have to look past the fact that she was in those terrible Twilight movies.
Yeah. It's such a big thing, though. It's kind of like when you see her face, it's instantly referred. You instantly match her up to Twilight. And it's like, and you just automatically sigh. So, but then again, a lot of actors have gone past their past work. That they're not too proud of and stuff. So.
Like Zac Efron, I mean, that's one guy that you maybe could look in the same nutshell of being quite a childish, lovable fan. Like every female loves him back in the day, to every child loved him now. He's actually quite a good actor in some movies. I mean, there's I could name probably a good five movies in being in, and you're like, wow, he was actually damn decent in that.
Yeah. I could give you 5 absolute train wrecks that he's in, though.
Oh, fucking! Don't get me wrong, Baywatch is fucking one of them. Fucking do not get me started on fucking Baywatch. I will fucking ruin your goals, whoever is listening. I fucking hate that movie. What a pile of fucking shit that was. Sorry to fucking stick out of the fucking... Do you know what, right? Don't really annoy me, but like I gotta go here for a second. Sorry, Will, I know it's your segment, but I have to state this about Baywatch. If anybody is going to watch Baywatch, fucking go in it with eyes closed, because I think you'd actually get a better fucking understanding of that movie without watching it. What a pile of turd. Do you know what, right? I walked in there, right, and I remember my old man, he's not a massive lover of swearing, right, but I love it, right? I could fucking swear until the cows come home, right?
Obviously.
But, and there's a huge but here, right? I could watch Deadpool, I love it, you're expecting what you're going to see, right? I walked into Baywatch, and I was like, okay, 15... Maybe because you see a lot of boobs. I did not be going in there. The first couple of sentences was fuck. Talk about lazy fucking script writing. Honest God, guys, genuinely, like they paid so much for them actors. They sent fuck all on that script. It was abysmal. Oh fuck! I nearly fucking tweeted The Rock to see if I can get my money back.
Well,
he has the money to give you.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Fucking,
he's the highest paid celebrity now, isn't he?
Paul, are you okay?
He looks frustrated there. I think it's the heat going to his head.
I'll go. Freaking Baywatch really freaking tempered in my freaking emotions.
We're gonna move on now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Move on that train wreck on movie.
So, for the final streaming pick for the great service that's been really good to us on Twitter and on all the social medias. There's a great service called Tubi TV, and they've been really good to us.
I've been loving
their
it.
Service. It's good, right?
Oh, I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
that's where I watch the next film I think you're going to mention. So
that's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah.
There's a great film on there called Like Crazy, and this film is great. It stars Anton Yelchin, who did die last year around this time. He died June 19th of last year, so it's about the 1-year anniversary that this great talented actor passed away. It stars he and Felicity Jones as 2 college students who fall in love. The problem is Felicity Jones is only here on a student visa, so she has to go back to your lovely part of the country, to the UK. And it's how they deal with the separation anxiety and the long distance relationships. And it's equal parts heartfelt but heartbreaking. It's equal parts emotionally deep but also structurally sound. It's a wonderful piece of cinema, and it's one of my favorite movies that I think I'm ever going to select for this segment. What do you gentlemen think, having done some research on this? Because I made.
I was with it. I was with it all the way through. It kind of takes you on an emotional journey. You feel everything through. It's like the first act or something. It's like all colourful and bright. It's like the honeymoon period of a relationship. They're loving life and madly in love, and then all of a sudden when because her student visa expires, but she overextends her stay. And that's when there's a dark cloud that hovers over the film all the way through it from that point, and you just feel it, and it's wonderful, It's if you've been in, everyone's been in relationships in the past, you kind of relate to a lot of what you see in it. It's like, oh Christ, I remember how that feels. Oh, I remember how this feels. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, it really does tap into your emotions and think, wow, you're with it, you're with them on the journey there. It's great.
Exactly. There's just like this crushing weight.
Yeah.
During the second and third part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's directed by this pretty young director, Drake Doremus, who did a pretty good movie last year called Equals as well. That's another one you guys can check out. If you want to check that out. It's got, again, bringing back to my previous point, it's got Kristen Stewart and Nicholas Hoult in it.
All right.
So
All right.
There's that. But regardless, it is a great film. I think that your audience would be doing their great due diligence if they downloaded the Tubi TV app and checked out this really good movie. Just so they could see how big a talent we're missing out on by this man passing away last year.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, they can at me on Twitter, Film Snob Reviews. I will give them a top 5 list of this guy's best performances to check out.
Genuine. And mate as well, I want to place in a bit of a plug there as well. Mm-hmm. If you want to get a hold of Will, he's got an awesome Patreon site that he's just got up and running. Get your asses on there. This guy's amazing. He's on our show each and every. He does it for free for us, and he needs to get new resources for him. He wants to pump more shit out to you guys. Go on to Patreon. Go on to our Twitter. We're going to tweet it out later on once again. It's on his Twitter too. It's on his website. Most probably highly chance of it as well. Go on to there, donate onto it, whoever's listening to our podcast, because I kid you not, this guy is fucking great. The shit he pumps out is fucking legit. And on top of it as well, he gives you a true response to most movies that you feel like you don't get off Rotten Tomatoes or any of these kind of other sites that you look at. He's giving you straight up a decent review of these movies, and that's why we have him on the show. That's why we have him on each and every month, and he gives us great topical discussions. So guys, get your asses onto Patreon, double check him out. We'll tweet it and he will. And if you want to get a hold of us on Twitter, especially us, it's at DPCasters, capital D, capital P, capital C, ASTERS. And Will, what's your Twitter handle as well?
It is at Film Snob Reviews. Film Snob Reviews, all one word. You can also hit us up, and I'll get to the rest of those plugs at the end of this, where you can reach us to get all of the fun stuff. This is going to lead me into our very last pick, which is always a new release that comes out in what would be the month of July for next month. The June release still hasn't come out from last episode, so I still haven't had a chance to see it. But that was the Big Sick. You guys should check that out.
Yeah.
Right. This pick for July is going to be the third film in a surprisingly amazing trilogy, War for the Planet of the Apes, which comes out here in the United States July 14th. The hype is real, gentlemen. I
can't wait for it.
Right, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this the one where he's literally they're in a snow biome, the way they're in the snow, and he's obviously creating another army again. Am I correct when I state that? I feel like I've seen a certain part of the trailer of this. I just can't remember it fully.
Yeah, you're somewhat correct on that, Paul. Absolutely. There's a great scene where they're in the snow and it looks almost like Nazi Germany because Woody Harrelson's shaving his head and walking away from camera, which is central camera. And then there's all these human soldiers who are about to fight this ape army led by Caesar. Yeah. There's apes on tanks. Right. That's all I need to say. Apes on tanks.
I gotta say, right, this is one franchise that has surprised me because the first one, absolutely hated it. I thought it was awful. I'm a big stickler when it comes to CG, and I thought the first one was an atrocity because you see Caesar climbing trees and stuff, and it didn't work for me, like CG in real life. And it didn't quite blend for me. I was like, no, don't like it. Yeah. But then they turned it all the way around in the next film, which was, what was it called, the next one?
Dawn of
Dawn of the
Rise.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Dawn, yeah.
And they turned it all the way around, and it proved to be the best bit of CGI I've ever seen. Where you see the emotions in the face, and you forget that it's computerized, that it's like real facial expressions on the apes and stuff.
I agree with that.
And it turned out being an awesome film. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. So for that reason, and it looks like they're doing the same again with this one. And I really can't wait.
The reason you feel those emotions is because they're literally just mapping a character over the already brought forth emotions from Andy Serkis's performance.
That's right. Yeah.
These are not false emotions coming out of the
course not.
character. You know, they're real. They feel, you can feel them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking so forward to this because I loved the first one because I thought the narrative was going to be was stronger than I thought it ever had. Dawn was amazing. I look forward to War because now we're going full circle.
Yeah.
Now it's not a love for humans. Because the first film, he loved humans. The second film, he still loved humans, but he felt that they were trying to kill him. And this time, I don't think there's going to be that love for the generalized humans, but I do think that there's that little girl character who he's going to love and put forth love while trying to also fight these forces that are coming at him.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this thing. I just hope that my experience watching the movie is better than the second time I saw Dawn. I had two teenage girls behind me kicking my seat the whole time that I had to end up eventually yelling at.
Yeah.
So,
No, never a good thing. Never a good thing.
No.
My thoughts on theater etiquette are a whole nother podcast.
Hey, perhaps we'll have to do a special sometime because I also have some myself.
Me too. Genuinely, literally, like my parents are worse for it. So literally, I am game face for a podcast like that. We'll have to do a special before long. Like,
definitely.
I can be spinning off it. That's a very interesting thing. I like that, Dan.
We'll have an extra Will episode.
I agree. Now, one other thing I would like to point at, what I would like to ask is, what do you guys think? What is your hype for this movie right now?
To be honest,
okay.
You go first, Paul.
Right, if you really have to ask me what the hype is for Planet of the Apes, I would say they prong them not so close to each other, so sometimes you lose a lot of like this momentum. Like, do you know, like with a Marvel movie, right? You go into these next movies with momentum from the next to the next to the next to the next. And there's going to be an inevitable end to it. But I feel like these movies, because it takes so long to create them, like Avatar, right? You look at Avatar now. Did I love the first one? I watched it about 7 times in a row. I loved it. Do I feel excited for the second one?
Well, don't like Avatar.
No, but at the same time, like it's taken so long for the second one. I don't know how I feel about the second one. You know what I mean? It's like it feels like maybe they should have maybe pre-built a second that was already getting built. Now it's taken them so many years to build it. But I feel like something similar with Planet of the Apes. It's got so much mapping of somebody's face to create each and every monkey that has been like from Caesar himself to God knows what other ones. It's so much work to plonk into a movie that you can't get a continuous beat of it within a couple of years of each other. And I feel like I lose momentum in between it. And I felt like I've lost momentum since Dawn to this one now. So I'll get excited when I watch it, but I just don't feel the excitement that I do when I watch a Marvel movie that has like, oh my God, Spider-Man, wow, Thor, wow this, wow that. And I feel like I don't have that with Planet of the Apes. And I feel like if they could brought that path down a little bit, maybe the excitement would be on a higher level. I'm not sure. That's my perspective on it.
With me, I'm just a big kid when it comes to with the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think the image that sticks in my mind strongly now is seeing an ape riding a horse with a machine gun, and from that moment on, I was like, yes, I am sold.
Didn't one of them drive a tank?
I can't remember.
Yes.
I'm sure one of them drive a tank. And literally, that was when I was a little bit hit and miss on Dawn.
Oh, I thought it was cool. I just thought the whole thing was... so I'm looking for more of that shit in this next film. So.
I will ask you this, Paul. Do you need thumbs? Do you need thumbs to drive a tank?
I don't know. I've never drove a tank.
You don't. Just put your hands and go like this. You don't need thumbs. Therefore, the apes could realistically... Same with the horses. They don't need opposable thumbs for that.
Yeah, but monkeys kind of do have opposable thumbs, don't they?
I just had an image of what's the name of the horse from Tangled? I've forgotten his name.
Oh.
That's the one, Maximus. I just had an image of him driving a tank for some reason.
What?
Well, you said horses
don't
driving
ask,
a tank,
don't
and I
ask.
thought, Maximus driving a horse. Driving a tank, even.
This is Dan's logic to literally random information get locked
It
up.
doesn't get
I'm
straight.
not,
It's easy
I'm not
stray
going to
my
talk
mind.
about that. Now, those are my picks for this month. I hope that you'll all of you out there in the DPcast world will check out these 6 great films that I've selected. Obviously, the Apes movie when it comes out, and the other 5, if you can find them, definitely check those out. And then, of course, your Valentine's Day next year won't be complete without a viewing of Black Panther, February 16th, 2018.
Legit. Do you know what we could do for that? And I'm gonna plonk it out there right now. Me and Dan normally do spoiler casts on some movies that come out. We are making a dedicated special to Black Panther next year, since you've now placed it on there. We'll do some of these running up to the inevitable future. Maybe do one for War of the Planet of the Apes. Is that we'll bring on Will to do a spoiler cast with us. So he'll be doing his random monthly thing with us. But when these movies appear, we will have Will to come on for these spoiler casts. So we can literally talk in depth over these movies. Because he knows what he's talking about. Me and Dan seem to know averagely what we're talking about.
We
He's
get
on
by,
middle
we get
ground,
by.
and we can have a good conversation. Because as I said, the War of the Planet of the Apes, we seem to be all in different parts of that movie where we feel, but yet still all excited about it, and vice versa for Black Panther. So I'm quite intrigued. So yeah, maybe we should do a spoiler cast running forth. Now, before we end this segment, because it's coming to its teetered edge, I'm gonna slowly, because normally with the movies I normally sit back and let Dan and Will do their thing because they know a lot more, right? But each and every week I'm gonna try and see if I can get a movie that Will has never watched. What is still accessible, so Will can watch one each and every time, and we're giving him the review to give us back by next episode. And the one I'm gonna give you by is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay.
Right.
Which one, though? Are there several?
No. There is several. Netflix, guys, if you want to watch this, it's on Netflix UK. It should be on the American version as well. There was a revamped version on Netflix, what is as good as it was back in the day. I totally advise, just watch number 1. Script, right? Just watch number 1 of it. Just get your pinky toe in that water. Test the ripples. I kid you not, you're gonna realize how awesome that series of movies is. How nuts that
Basically a
states.
piss take of shit movies back in the day.
It really is. It's like Dan never seen it only until about a couple of weeks ago, and I showed him after we watched Passengers. Well, we'll get to a spoiler cast in the inevitable future now.
Oh, what's that face, Will? I saw a face.
Those are my thoughts on Passengers.
I thought the Eye of Sauron came along then for a moment. It's like, oh!
Passengers. Pass. Thank you. I'll pass.
I'm interested in that one. I loved that film. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I looked this up, and it says that episode number 1 is Manos, the Hands of Fate. I'm all down.
Yeah, we go. Cool.
I'm already down because that movie's terrible.
Yeah. Just go into Netflix, watch episode 1, dude, and you'll end up wanting to watch more. I think I'm on episode 6 now. Episode 6 may as well as an hour and a half long. They are pretty much movies in their own rights. So go and have a check them out. Right, there's 3 robots and a guy. The comedic values to them are just fucking on point, and they just make these fucking movies that are dog shite. Fucking incredible to watch.
Well, like I said, they started with Manos, the Hands of Fate, which is absolute feces. So,
What was the one I watched with you, Paul? Because I was
Avalanche.
I was umming and ahhing about when you were telling me about it. It was one of those things where you talk and I'm like going, yeah. And then eventually I went down to your house and you showed me an episode. I think it was the film called Avalanche or something like that.
Avalanche, yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious.
It was incredible.
I loved it. I loved every moment of it. It was funny. It was a shit film, but they made it a great
episode
film.
5. No, it was incredible. Like the way the robots would take the piss out of the Avalanche going. As soon as the titles came up and it said Avalanche, I went, wow, spoilers. So yeah, We'll advise you to have a quick look over that one and get back to us on the next episode of that one.
That I will do. To kind of wrap it all up here today, I just wanted to say that I hope they don't make a second or third or fourth Avatar film because I hate the first one. Come at me, Paul.
I got bad news for you, but they're creating the second and the third together. That's why it's so late getting into the come into the production.
What are they going to copy out? They already did the whole Dances with Wolves script already.
To what I've viewed, it's they. Right, get this in right.
Copy
Weaver, isn't it Shaun Weaver was partner? I can't remember. I am right on that. She right.
Yes,
she will be a part of the willow tree.
Oh, so they're going to copy Pocahontas, basically.
It is Pocahontas all the way through, but I still like it. It feels like a 90s film that's been made now. It's whenever. When was that made? Anyway, it's a good. That's pretty crazy.
They most probably started building this movie in the 90s because literally took
I know
fucking
Cameron wrote it in the 90s, but the technology wasn't there to make it yet, so that's why it was late coming out. So
2010.
Yeah,
2010.
Wow, 7 years. But yeah, it felt a bit like a 90s film. I just like the story. It was a relaxing film to watch. I enjoyed it, even though it is Pocahontas.
You like the story?
Yeah.
You like the story because Kevin Costner did it in 1990 and called it Dances with Wolves. And he won a bunch of Oscars for it.
I'll have to watch that film.
It's the same thing.
Do you know what? He fucking is right. Yeah, it is. I've watched that movie. It is. I'm thinking of it. Yeah, it is actually. That's it was. Holy shit! Freaking! I can see the Pocahontas thing, but now I can see the Dancing Wolves one too. Holy crap!
Yep.
Ah, fair enough. Freaking.
I'll leave you with that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole plug thing. That you guys like me to do.
Well, you might get a message randomly in the middle of the night one night with me saying, "What the fuck? It's Dancing with Wolves." I just finished watching it.
I can't wait for that message so we can discuss that. You guys can follow me and all the. You should definitely, if you're not listening to these guys, listen to these guys. If you're not listening to these guys, you won't hear this plug anyway. But if you're listening to these guys, spread the word. These guys are great. They do a great job. I've listened to their other podcasts. They know what they're talking about when it comes to their wrestling, when it comes to, their hypotheticals. They know what they're talking about. I can't wait for your Money in the Bank one. I know you just put it out yesterday. I'm going to be listening to that today.
It was a good laugh. It's a good laugh. Yeah. A good bit movement on that with that one.
I can't wait. Hopefully it's FABULOUS. As they say. You're welcome. You guys can follow me on social media at Film Snob Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, also on Facebook. You can find me on there by searching Film Snob Reviews, all one word. YouTube, I'm on there. We're going to start using that a little bit more. It's youtube.com/Film Snob Reviews. Please do us a favor and do me a huge favor. And if you like what you're hearing from me and you want more, please feel free to donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Film Snob Reviews. You can get in for as little as $1, but if you really want to be awesome, you can donate $20 and you'll get a really cool Film Snob Reviews club shirt. We have what we call the FSR Club. It's our take on the Bullet Club. Join us and be too sweet, guys.
Cool.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Awesome.
I did do everything that he just stated now. And guys, if you want to download this podcast, you know where to get all the good stuff from, and that is going to be iTunes, SoundCloud, and all Android podcast apps, and that's just by searching the DPCast. Capital D, capital P, capital C, AST. And before long, me and Dan have been talking last night, from when we made this podcast, that we are be looking into getting YouTube back up and running before long as well. So talk about a coincidence, quinky dinky on that one. So yeah, and if you want to check on that, check us out on DPCast. I mean, generally we're going to be exactly the same way you find our podcasts. If you want to get hold of us on Twitter, as we've just mentioned not long back, that is, and on Facebook, it's the actual same thing, and that is at the DPCasters, capital D, capital P, capital C, ASTERS. And may as well, Will is one of the admins on our Facebook. So if you can't get a hold of him on the Film Snob Reviews, get on our Facebook. Punch him up a message, and if we can't answer it for you, highly chance will. So it's been another great one, Will. It really has been, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show, boy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Again, always a fun time chatting with you lads, and telling you guys what you need to watch. I hope that I hope to get more feedback from your guys' audience. I know you said that they talk to you guys a lot, but tell them to at me. Tell them to come at me and speak with me. I love talking to people, and I love recommending more films for people.
That's very true.
These are just 5. This is you guys have no idea how hard it is to make these lists when you're scrolling through Netflix and you're like, I like that one, that one, that one, that one, but I can like one because I'm very strict with the rules. Like I'm only going to pick one.
That's true. Yeah.
No, I agree.
I look forward to them. As I enjoyed last month, and I was like, I can't wait for the next one now. See what little homework is Will going to give me this time. And
you've got some good stuff. You've got some good stuff. So with that, I mean, I really want more feedback from your guys' audience because I feel
that's cool.
Yeah.
We need to get them involved in this, and what I'd really like for them to do is I'd like for them to pick out films themselves.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I saw this on Netflix. Is it on the American version? Would you recommend this as one of your picks? And if any of the members of your illustrious audience recommend to me a film, they're going to get a shout out on the next film news segment when I do it.
Nice.
So if your film is selected, you'll get a shout out.
Cool. I might message you myself, Will.
Dan and Paul, members of the DPCast, are exempt from joining. God
damn it. Anyways, guys, that's been another week, and we'll catch your ass down the road.
Goodbye.